We are back with Grant White, portfolio manager and investment advisor at IA Private Wealth. Grant has some stock ideas for you, starting with Cameco. Cameco hitting record highs yesterday, briefly today. You don't feel all the good news is in the stock, Grant? You see more upside?
Yeah, I still see a lot of upside actually with this company. I mean, I think, you know, the great Canadian story going on right now, and I think if we're bold enough, if you will, to capture it, is the energy story. And I think the world is starving for energy. In this AI world, there's going to be more starving for energy, and Cameco is so well positioned for it. One of the reasons I really like it is obviously they're holding in Westinghouse, because, you know, as the world is shifting away from Russian and Chinese reactors, especially in places like in Europe, for example, and looking for more technological solutions from the United States or perhaps Canada, I think Cameco and their holdings in Westinghouse are so well positioned. So they've got a really nice package and ecosystem around nuclear energy here, and I don't think that that's been fully realized in the share price at this point. So I think there's a lot of good opportunity. I think there's a lot of good growth that's just not baked into this one yet. I mean, I know obviously we're seeing record highs and the shares have done really well, but I think as we go along over the next few years, this company is going to do extremely well, and they're so well positioned for it.
Your next idea, Canadian natural resources, obviously another type of energy. Why would this be one of your favorites in oil and gas?
You know, Canadian Natural Resources is such a great company. We've owned them for a long time. We're buying right now. I'd be buying this one as well. I mean, we've got a great dividend yield. I think it's north of 5.4% right now. The cash flows are great. They've demonstrated that they can still be profitable at lower energy prices. So as we've seen volatility in oil prices, especially over the last few days, you know, we're not worried about a company like CNQ and as to how they're going to perform through that environment. And as I said, I mean, this world is starved for energy. There's going to be more need for energy. There's great stories coming out of Canada, but whether it's pipelines going to the West Coast, whether it's new Port of Churchill opportunities where, you know, when we're going to get energy going through the Hudson's Bay and sending it over to Europe. I think that, you know, a company like CNQ is very well positioned for this environment. They've been great before they had more opportunities, and frankly, more opportunities are coming online all the time. We love to see that there's investment going on in the country towards energy. And so I think CNQ is very well positioned, and you get paid to wait with a 5.4% dividend right now.
Yeah. Dividend, as you say, about 5.5%. You said actually before the break that you can pick up yield in some unexpected places these days. Would this be an example?
I think CNQ is less unexpected, but I actually think it's a great story around yield as well, because, yeah, I mean, I love the growth story that CNQ is going to play out. But at the same time, I mean, when you get a 5.4% dividend yield, we don't need much from a share price appreciation to get close to that 8 to 10% that we might want to see with a company like this. So even if we got inflation numbers on the share price, I mean, we're basically at that 7%, 7.5% target. So I think CNQ is a great core holding. And like I said, even if it takes a few years to realize the growth opportunity, you're still doing very well with this company in the meantime. And we're not worried about the dividend at all. Cash flows are great.
Where else? Give us an example or tell us where else you're finding decent yield popping up where you might not expect it.
Well, I mentioned that share buyback story, and this is one that I think that people are often overlooking, especially as it comes to, I mean, the Mag 7 is like, if you look at the overall pricing for it, it's very hard to buy into that. But I think if you want to look at one opportunity that is a bit overlooked right now, it's in Alphabet. Alphabet has if you look at the share buybacks and the dividend yield's nothing to write home about, but if you look at the share buybacks in combination with the dividend yield, you're at about a 4% overall yield on Alphabet. Now, taking that in line with where they're currently trading today with P's, I mean, it's not overly pricey, especially when you compare it to the other Mag 7. And then you look at the AI story, and I think that Alphabet and Google, they're as well positioned to lead this story over the next 5 years as anybody. You look at their multiple LLM models. If you look at their tech stack, their hardware, their services, you got Waymo, even a stake in SpaceX. This company is very well positioned to do very, very, very well in the next few years. And again, in the meantime, you're getting this yield, this total yield of about 4% with the share buybacks, largely mostly from those share buybacks. So I think this is actually a really great opportunity in Alphabet that people are overlooking it for those reasons. And everybody knows Alphabet's a good company. Nobody's buying it for yield, but I actually think there's a decent yield story that's overlooked.
That's interesting. We're very tight. Apple, your view there is hold tight for time. You're a little more cautious on Apple.
Apple's the dark horse in the AI story because really they got nothing going on in this right now. But I do think that Apple, I mean, for the same reasons I like Alphabet, if Apple does use a bunch of that cash to make a strategic acquisition, like what if they bought Perplexity, for example, or something like that? Apple could jump into the AI race very quickly, and they'd be very well positioned. For all the reasons I like Alphabet, I would like Apple if they did that. I love Apple as a company, but it's a hold right now. Until they get into that race, I think you got to keep it as a hold.
Grant, always great to hear from you. Grant White, portfolio manager and investment advisor at IA Private Wealth.